Beginning of my video. Boom!
Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things. It was over in a snap.
We really want it. Alright, we'll be nice.
Only you can be a Patreon.
Oh my gosh!
Look over. It's crazy.
You don't need to follow the show to be hyped.
Hello, Boring Review Nation. Gabe here, doing a solo review today. We're gonna be reviewing a little movie called Spenser's Confidential on Netflix. Here's the thing. Right now, we're all locked down. We're on like day, 7 or 8 of the lockdown. So, you're probably running through a lot of your DVDs you have at home and movies you're seeing. So it's like, okay, time for something new. And really, all the new releases that are being dropped are like $20. I'm probably going to break down and do Bloodshot at the very minimum because it is a comic book property. But everything else that was in the theater, from Onward to Bloodshot to, what was the last one? Invisible Man, it's all on demand. But it's like $20. And unless I really want to watch a movie, I'm not paying $20. So most people have Netflix, all right? If you look at the stock market, Netflix is one of the things that's not down. But when it comes to Netflix, they are so diverse. And I realized this, I learned this a couple years back when they started doing their own content, and I could see where they were going, where they're now creating their own content because it gets expensive to continuously have to pay for other people's content. And you've seen some big names. Will Smith, okay, with Bright, it was a really good movie. I really recommend it. That was on Netflix. One of the most recent ones, of course, Marriage Story did really, really well. Had some Oscar nods. But, The Irishman. You had De Niro. You had, Al Pacino. How did I forget that? Al Pacino playing Jimmy Hoffa on there. You had some, Hollywood legends doing a Netflix property. And this thing had Oscar nods as well. So it really shows you how big Netflix is. Anyway, they got Mark Wahlberg. He's doing the Spenser's Confidential. A little bit of history on him. I've been following him for a long time. I loved rap. I grew up during the late 80s, early 90s. And, he was originally Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Right over here. Marky Mark got famous for pants dropping. Okay, he was on the stage and he used to wear his pants really, really baggy, and he was always really fit, so he wouldn't have his shirt on, no belt. But since the pants were so baggy, this guy turned lemon into lemonade. Pants fell, everybody saw his underwear, and then all of a sudden he just started owning it. Next thing you know, he's doing Calvin Klein commercials for underwear, and this guy has a way of just turning, again, a bad situation into a good one. Again, that expression, turning lemon into lemonades. Another Southie, South Boston accent guy. It's funny because this guy has gone through so many changes from Marky Mark and a Funky Bunch, to being a regular actor. Then, man, he had television shows with his family, and he's done a lot. He's definitely done a lot. He's in one of my favorite gangster movies, The Departed, and he does a really good job in here. Now, this is nowhere near as good as The Departed. I hate to disappoint you guys right now, but it's actually good for a Netflix streaming property. If you're going to be home anyway, you might as well go ahead and watch it. It also has Winston Duke in it. I will say Winston Duke stole the show. Every time he is on camera, he is just, I loved him. He was amazing in Black Panther, okay? Standout performance there. And he was really, really good in Us as well. I don't know, just the camera loves him. And he does a really good job in this movie as well. I didn't realize how big Winston Duke was because he dwarfs Mark Wahlberg in this movie. So I sometimes when you saw the scenes, the way they were shot, it just looked a little bit weird. But I guess they were also emphasizing how big he was in this movie. And I mean big in stature, physically. With that being said, it's a story about an ex-cop who gets out of jail, and basically he's trying to solve a crime out in South Boston where there's some corrupt cops in this, and I don't want to give away the whole movie. I know I'm usually spoilerish. I just want to give you guys a quick synopsis of the movie, tell you my thoughts, and have you watch it on your own. He gets out of jail, and then his best friend, who was also his ex-trainer, is training Winston Duke, and that's how their relationship comes about. And now they're running around town trying to investigate this crime that the cops are bungling on purpose, actually. Post Malone's also in this movie. His role's not really that big, but he actually did a really good job on the scenes he was in, and he was really funny as well. Ultimately, the worst part about this movie was the antagonist. They did not do a good job there, and it's more about a Mark Wahlberg coming out of jail, facing the fact that he was an ex-cop first and foremost and was in jail, and the entire time he wasn't even in Gen. He was in Gen Pop in there, so that just shows you how tough this guy is. But is battling some of his own demons, all right? His anger, things that got him in trouble in the first place, why he ends up going to jail. But for a Netflix property, again, is it a great movie? Is this thing gonna get any Oscar nods? Absolutely not. But it's a good, Netflix and chill movie. Throw it on home, hang out during this lockdown day 8, and check it out. All right, he's always good when he's playing himself, and what I mean by that is when he's using that Boston accent, it's super good. He's really comfortable in that role. Winston Duke again stole the show every time he's on camera. He's very contagious. Okay, that's the best way I could say it. The camera loves him. Winston Duke again, Mark Wahlberg. Their chemistry in this movie is amazing. It's almost like a Batman and Robin feel. They're running around South Boston trying to solve this crime, and for the most part, their interactions together are very believable. Again, this movie just suffers because the antagonist is so weak, so weak. But I don't want to give that away. That would be a spoiler for the movie. My thoughts on this movie, guys. Again, it's a Netflix property, so I have to be able to judge it as opposed to if it was a theatrical release. But, for a Netflix property, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a B-, okay? A B-. I saw Netflix kill it. Not Netflix. Rotten Tomatoes kill it and give it like a 38%, 39%. Are you kidding me? So just for the accents alone and Winston Duke, this is better than a 38%. You telling me more than 50% of the people that saw this movie hated it? Stop it. I can tell you some garbage that Rotten Tomatoes has given it like a 90%. Or 80% that's worse than this. And this is a Netflix property. What are you expecting, okay? But with that being said, guys, that's my review. That's my grade for this movie. If you guys watched it already, let me know in the comments what you thought. Did you like it? What do you think about Winston Duke's performance? Mark Wahlberg? Let me know your favorite Mark Wahlberg movie. Mine has got to be The Departed. That movie's amazing. Him and Jack Nicholson in there together. Leonardo DiCaprio's in it as well. It's just a fabulous movie. If you haven't seen The Departed, definitely go check out The Departed. You will not be disappointed. And guys, as usual, until next time, we know all things.